They were about like $134,000 short they had to come up with to close on this. It's a lot of pre-construction contracts from a couple of years ago starting to close.
Yeah, a bunch of these places are closing now.
Like this month. Yeah. So some large condos, complexes. And what I've seen on my side for financing is a lot of the appraisals are coming in massively low. Like purchase contract inclusive of GST is at like 667 and the appraisal comes back at 500. Legitimately, those are the numbers that we're seeing. So like 167,000 under what we need it to appraise for.
What does that look like on scale?
Yeah. So you get the report, right? You kind of look through it, you see the comps. Obviously, you have the ability to kind of push back against the appraiser and say, well, what about these comps? What about this listing? And initially, like it's a bit of a knee-jerk reaction when you see something coming in, like 160 grand under when it was a 667,000 purchase. But like these appraisers, they have a 4-year degree and then they've done their appraiser course. Like they're pulling comps that like gets pretty hard to dispute.
Also, it's not like it's just one crazy appraiser.
It's comparables that have recently sold, right? And there just aren't a lot of places that have recently sold in the condo market at those price points. Financing, if your appraisal comes in low, you have to make up that deficit of like a cash injection from somewhere.
So you have to get the 20% or whatever your down payment is of the 500,000, and then the other part is just cash.
Yeah. So for this specific scenario, 80% loan to value or 20% down on a conventional mortgage. So, their mortgage amount went down to $400,000 compared to the 80% loan to value on that first portion. So they were about like $134,000 short they had to come up with to close on this. Now, some clients obviously have that ability. Most clients do not. This isn't a dig at developers or certain projects. It's just a very tough time in the market where, I've had some clients that are like, well, I'm going to try and renegotiate with the developer. And it's like, okay, yeah, but for the last, say 10 years, when you made 100 grand in equity, is the developer then coming back to you and say, hey, like the market went up by 100 grand, like we need to split the profits a bit? Like it's just kind of that inherent risk that you take. And it's not to say that there's not value in these specific units in terms of like the cost to rebuild and the cost to actually like for materials and labor. It's just the comparable sales right now, nothing is selling.
Also, it's kind of another interesting to think about is like there is like zero new projects coming on for condos. Like I think townhouse, there are some in the pipeline, but like condos is zero. What does this look like in 3, 4, 5, 6 years from now? Are we going to be back to having to know the developer and doing backroom deals to get the contract? I think it's inevitable. I think it's obviously going to happen.
And that's the thing. Like if you're closing on a property now, don't try and turn around and fire sale it. Real estate isn't a commodity to sell on a day trade style mentality.
Yeah, it's a long-term play for sure.